Now, stakeholders in the urban planning space have called for a sustainable approach to decongesting the national capital, Accra. A section of Ghanaians have raised concerns over the loss of productive hours due to gridlock and congestion while engaging in commerce. The situation is aggravated as families from across the country troop to the nation's capital to buy and sell. The following report highlights the congestion situation in the Central Business District and explores alternative solutions. Caleb Kuda has more.
The national capital, Accra, is grappling with a severe congestion crisis, with thousands of commuters and traders losing productive hours daily in gridlocks.
According to Google Environmental Insight Explorer, it's a dedicated service of Google for city administrators. We have almost about 2 billion trips a year into the CBD of Accra, not 2 million. And you are looking at an area of 21 square kilometers that has inbound traffic about 2 billion a year. In a typical day, I think it's almost about 200,000 inflows of vehicular traffic.
That was Alex Johnson, head of the Department of Transport at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The situation worsens during the Christmas season as the city faces an influx of people from all over the world. Estimates suggest that congestion in Accra Central Business District causes average delays of 2 to 3 hours daily, with some commuters enduring up to 5 hours in traffic. Beyond traffic delays, additional time is lost as shoppers like Ekosia, not a real name, search endlessly for goods in the chaotic CBD. I see you're sweating along. How long have you been in town?
For like 2 hours.
2 hours. Give me an idea where you've been to and what the experience has been like.
Actually, I have a wedding tomorrow, so I came to get a shoe for the wedding. And I'm not even getting what I want, even though this place is congested. But then, and I'm not sure they can also stop vehicles from using this side.
The CBD, the epicenter of Accra's commerce, has become a source of frustration to many. How many hours have you spent here today?
I'll say 5 hours.
Did you get all you wanted?
No.
How was your movement like? Did you like it?
No. The road was not easy to pass, yeah.
I came here since 11 o'clock. And I'm now going home. I came to get my brother's things for school.
How's the experience?
It's very tedious, but since you need something, you have to come and get what you want to buy. So.
The chaotic nature of the area was starkly illustrated 3 months ago when a fire engulfed a building filled with shops. Despite the fire service being nearby, access to the scene was delayed due to the congestion. A trader, speaking anonymously, described the frustration of working in such conditions.
I was here. I was at the shop actually when I heard the call. Someone called me that the building was burning. And the first thing I could think about was my car because I park here and it's close. So I rushed here, but fortunately for us, it didn't catch this building. Yes, fire service, they were here for about 2 to 3 days. And even after the 3rd day, you could still see some smoke coming out of some parts of the building. A lot of people lost a lot of their workers. And the issue, I think, was an electrical problem.
To uncover the reasons behind this persistent crisis, I spoke to 3 urban planning experts and the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Dr. Kojo Henesafo, Project Coordinator for the Greater Accra Resilience and Integrated Development Project Garrett, is my first.
You're seeing that the city is conflicted by a colonial legacy of planning. That was very segregation. That would separate the natives from the colonizers. And in those segregated spaces, it created better paths for the colonizers and then it created women. It is then compounded by the growing informalization of both economic enterprise and space use, land-use spaces. It's also then compounded by the differential investments by sectors, such that these investments do not speak to each other.
Now back to the head of the Transport Department at the AMA, Alex Johnson. He explains that the lack of integrated urban transport planning has made sustainable solutions to the city's chaos elusive.
We have had our visions right in terms of deciding that we want to go for mass transit systems as a national transport policy. That has been with us from the first draft of a national transport policy. But the issue is about the implementation of this vision.
And who is failing?
I think it's a systemic failure, right from national systems to local administrative management systems.
Desmond Appiah is country lead for the Clean Air Fund. He believes Ghana's failure to coordinate and consistently execute development resolutions is to blame.
Accra has always been a very commercial-oriented town. You see that right in the center of Accra, there are about 4 or 5 markets, big markets. I mean, you have Makola, you have Okanshi. So it's a congregation point. And then if you see, the ministries are also virtually in the center of Accra. And so there is a lot of movement into Accra. And I think the records show from the dormitory cities around us, Kaswa, Medina, there's close to 2 million people that move into the center of Accra each day. And I think in the original planning, of course, the population was much less. And so having that number, a lot of people coming into the town for a growing or a new city was not a bad thing. I think where we seem to be having more challenge is as the growth has become exponential, the measures that we have to do to decompress, if I could put it that way, Accra, or decongest Accra, I think we've been a little slow.
For the Greater Accra Regional Minister Titus Glover, conversations about chaos in the city cannot be had without mentioning indiscipline.
It is attitudes. It's generally attitudes of our people. That is a doer. Very stubborn. Sometimes you ask yourself whether we deliberately want to do things the way we are doing, or just that we just want to test the resolve of city authorities.
Is it not because you are not enforcing the laws?
Here again, it is not the regional minister and the RCC's work. And sometimes I get baffled where referrals are made to me. It is a duty of my chief executives who are in charge of all these assemblies. It's their duty to do it.
So how can the government of Ghana address the city's challenge? Here is Dr. Ohene Safo.
Almost at the point where it is becoming almost like an emergency to address some of the chaos that we see. Because when you see this, the other part of it is that it does not make us competitive as compared to other countries.
Yeah.
We are all fighting for investments from.
Yeah.
If I'm an investor and I come to Accra, and it's going to take me 1 hour to do, let's say, a 2-kilometer walk or drive.
From Tudu to Kantamanto.
2 kilometers at the most. It takes me 2 hours to do that. And when I go next door to your country, and it will take me less than 10% of that same time, it's a more efficient use of my time, and therefore a better way to invest. And all of these impact on our prospects for employment, our prospects for enhanced environmental services or ecological services, the benefits of good air to breathe and all of that. So it's a hydra-headed problem, but the solution has to be systematically done. It just requires strong leadership.
For Alex Johnson, local government authorities must be empowered with the necessary tools and autonomy to carry out their mandate.
In most of Africa, you hardly find a local government administration that has decentralized its transport planning activities. Ghana, we have done that. So at least we have decentralized, and the local government system has a transport department. But on top of that, if you looked at how this type of responsibility is expected to be administered at the local level, it comes with a lot of support for financing for infrastructure from the local government administration.
Desmond Appiah holds a radical view.
We always focus on those that are on the paving. That's where every time we talk about decongestion, we talk about only those that are on the paving. And we say when we clear the paving, then the vehicles flow. But what if the zone is supposed to be a pedestrianized zone so that we have more people coming, patronize the goods that are sold? Why can't we look on the other side and not just on those that are on the paving? What about the vehicles too? Do we really have to have all manner of vehicles going into the center of the city? Is it not possible to have some kinds of vehicles, maybe electric vehicles, electric buses, and when we talk about mass transit, like even trams, it could be a tram system only around the center of Accra. It's possible. We don't have to do it to cover the whole gamut of the zone. So we need to be innovative about how we're going about it.
Titus Glover advocates enforcement with a human face.
And yet again, because it's Christmas, so sometimes you give them some break so that they can do their business, get something, and take care of their families. So you don't blame them too much per se, because the season in which we find ourselves, so sometimes you close your eyes on some of these things. Early January, you can come back. And I believe, like I said, in dialogue, the Assembly must send a team led by the Chief Executive to go engage the people. You see, when somebody does wrong and you speak to the person, in a way the person will accept that what I'm doing is wrong, than to making the buga way, it doesn't help. But when you take your time, explain to them that, look, where you are, you're in the middle of the road. Your safety is more paramount. Why don't you go back, allow the vehicles to fly? If somebody wants to come and buy, they'll come to you.
It's congested out here, but it gets worse by Christmas time. For a largely informal economy, city managers have a huge challenge managing the congestion. But how do we create a less chaotic, less congested central business district without depriving the largely informal sector workers of the source of daily bread? That's a big question that requires urgent attention for managers of the city, for all their safety and health considerations. For Channel One TV, I am Caleb Kuda.